This my call out. Jake Paul, what up? What up, Jake Paul?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be down. Let's run it. Like, I'll be super, super down. I don't know if
Gervonta needs Jake Paul. Let's be clear, right?
is there a height limit in boxing?
The YouTube star turned boxing sensation Jake Paul has openly wished for a showdown with the undefeated knockout machine Tank Davis, and now this fantasy fight could become a reality. WBA lightweight champ Gervonta Davis has officially called out the problem child. Davis said when asked whether he would be interested in the bout, "Yeah, tell him. This is my call out. Jake Paul, what up? What up, Jake Paul?" Davis was extremely critical of Paul's decision to lock horns with 58-year-old Mike Tyson. Tank also fired a shot at Paul after his victory against Tyson, labeling him a bozo who couldn't score a knockdown against his 58-year-old opponent.
He was chasing something, and once he got it, he was like, what the like, you know? That didn't really mean nothing. You know, his kids was older and things like that. Like, he mainly needed the money, you know? So I feel as though, like, that's what people was, like, behind him and telling him, like, to become a champion, you gotta become undisputed and things like that. But once he got it, he, like, basically, like, what the hell?
Gervonta Tank Davis revealed that Jake Paul is only stepping into the ring with him for the money, not for the legacy. While Davis is driven by his pursuit of greatness and establishing his legacy as one of the best, Jake's focus seems to be more on capitalizing on the spectacle of the fight.
Your thoughts on Tank Davis?
Man, he's a great fighter. He's a great fighter. He's surprised me a couple of times. We've had some word exchanges.
Yes.
But it's all for fun. You know, Gervonta hasn't shown the ability to win a lot of rounds against taller fighters, and then he relies on the knockout in the later rounds.
Gervonta Tank Davis didn't hold back when reacting to the potential Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fights, making it clear that he believes Tyson stepping into the ring with Jake would hurt his legendary status.
Following the Tyson fight, tell us, you know, exactly why, expound on that.
Because why would he even want to fight him? And who told Mike Tyson to fight anyway?
Do you think that it might have tarnished Mike's legacy in a way?
Yeah. They did. They definitely did.
Paul reposted the same video recently and mentioned that he wasn't interested in Davis's challenge anymore. He mocked Tank, labeling him Mayweather's little son due to his previous ties to Mayweather Promotions. Along with all this, Paul also mentioned the reason behind rejecting Davis's call out. He said, "Floyd's little son calling me out? Come on, little Tank Davis. You know better. I saw you pretend like you didn't know who Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor are. Do better, and maybe one day I will give you a platform to shine again after that budget basic press conference you just had."
If people want to see more, or this challenge, or fight this person, whatever it is, my response to them is just give them a couple more months, because I'm going to accomplish more things in just a matter of months, and I plan on doing everything in this sport that there is to be done.
But just to be clear, right, he's fought UFC champions, he's fought boxing legends, and he's fought boxers that someone with his experience should fight, and he's knocked them out in the first round, right? He did that twice in a row before Mike Perry. Like, he was fighting in front of 4,000 people last December in Orlando, knocking the dude out in the first round, but doing what traditional boxers do. And now he's here putting on the biggest show that boxing has seen in 40 plus years. You know, there was a fighter who tried to bombard our press conference, former fighter, on Thursday, and it was ridiculous. That dude fought somebody that was 9-21 in their 12th fight. This young man who has 4 years in the sport, 3 years with MVP, he just fought the baddest man on the planet in front of 72,000 people on Netflix. And he took it all in and stepped up to the challenge. So to your question about what's next, he's gonna do everything that he wants to do.
Jake Paul has shown determination and confidence in taking on big challenges throughout his boxing journey. Whether it's his willingness to fight seasoned fighters or his bold callouts to major names, Jake consistently positions himself as someone unafraid of high stakes.
3 years with MVP, he just fought the baddest man on the planet in front of 72,000 people on Netflix. And he took it all in and stepped up to the challenge. So to your question about what's next, he's gonna do everything that he wants to do to become a world champion. But in the midst of that, he may do things that are crossover. He may do things that are smaller in nature. But that's his path to be the world champion.
Meanwhile, Tank Davis is set to defend his WBA lightweight title in March, but still took time to challenge Jake. Jake quickly responded to the call out on social media. Davis and Roach were in Washington, D.C. for their first press conference before their fight on March 1st. As of now, Davis hasn't replied to Jake Paul's social media posts. Davis, who normally fights at lightweight, would need to gain weight to fight Paul. Jake Paul's fight with Tyson was at heavyweight, and he usually competes at cruiserweight. Jake Paul is open to fighting Gervonta Davis after he steps away from influencer boxing. Davis, who is undefeated with a 30-0 record, recently beat Frank Martin with a knockout in June, adding to his impressive career wins, including a victory over Ryan Garcia. Since losing to Tommy Fury last year, Jake has bounced back with victories over Nate Diaz and Mike Perry.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Brownsville, Mike, can I ask? The world is excited to see you one last time, perhaps. Can you just tell us the emotions, the thoughts that are going through your mind right now?
talking's over.
Awesome. Cool.
Jake's fight with Mike Tyson was a huge event, gaining millions of Netflix viewers, but didn't live up to expectations because Tyson is older and dealing with health issues. While a matchup between Paul and Davis isn't likely soon, it could be an exciting possibility for 2025 as Jake continues to take on tougher opponents. YouTube sensation turned boxer Jake Paul might have just punched his way into some serious trouble. The Cleveland native has made a splash by duking it out with retired fighters, former UFC stars, and boxers who've seen better days. Mike Tyson looked nothing like his former self as he gassed out after the first round of their professional boxing match. Regardless, this fight, and especially Tyson's loss, seems to have ticked off Tank Davis, who made his scorn known. Right after the fight came to a close, the Baltimore native hopped and stated, "To the bozo that shared the ring with Mike, you a whole bozo for this, and you didn't get the job done, sus head." Davis followed this up with a tribute to Tyson, despite the former legend's understandably underwhelming performance. Gervonta Tank Davis isn't holding back when it comes to his thoughts on Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. In a recent statement, Tank declared, "You will always be a boxing legend, whether you like it or not. There will never be another one, and I understand you so well. All this that is happening now means nothing." His next message to Paul seemed like a tease to a fight between the duo. "I'll beat the brakes off of him. When I catch him, uppercut, jab, left hook, uppercut, then just watch." Meanwhile, when the problem child was asked about his thoughts on the matter, he accepted the offer right away. Paul said during his post-fight press conference, "Yeah, I mean, I'd be down to fight. Let's run it. Is there a height limit in boxing?" Regardless, later Davis appeared in an interview where his take on Tyson seemed to have changed. Davis said, "Who told Mike Tyson to fight anyway? Yeah, it tarnished Mike's legacy. It definitely did. For some money." Since then, while appearing in another interview, Davis seems to have gotten more serious about fighting the YouTube star.
You know, if he's one extra sport, I'm sure he wants to go out and face, you know, guys like Garcia, you know what I mean? I'm sure he would want to get in the ring with Jake Paul, you know what I'm saying? Because that's money. So, I mean, look, man, he trying to get the bag and get on out with his wits and be happy. Tank's the guy, man. Tank's the guy I want to see Shakur fight next. However, I already know what it's going to be. You know, Shakur definitely knows that he's going to have to take short money if that was going to happen. They're going to use that against him. I get it. They're going to say, well, look, you don't sell out no arenas. You don't bring anything to the table, so why? They're going to say, you're going to run all night. You're going to this. So, you know, they're going to say everything they possibly can for the fight not to happen. But I think the fight should happen.
Meanwhile, boxing commentator Tim Bradley fields media questions about Gervonta Tank Davis' upcoming fight against Lamont Roach and says the move is simply par for the course for Tank, who continues to benefit from the protective custody of PBC. So when asked about his thoughts on the fight, Bradley shared some of these words. To which Bradley said, "Tank gon' do what Tank gon' do. Tank gon' do what Tank has always done. Y'all know what that is. The fans ain't stupid. You've got your Tank supporters out there that feel that this guy ducked, this guy didn't want to fight, and all this stuff. Man, like before Shakur even signed to Cordana, it was a perfect opportunity for him to negotiate with Shakur.
Again, my money's on Shakur. I think the defense wins championships. I could be wrong. Tank is an animal. He can fight. But he has yet to be in the ring with a guy that's as smart as Shakur. And a guy that's on his level, IQ level. I still got Shakur because defense, you can't hit him. You can't hit him, bro. Like, Tank got the bomb, but if Tank can't land that bomb or figure out a way to land that bomb, then how is he gonna beat him?
Tim Bradley made it clear Davis will continue to do what he's always done, and fans aren't blind to it. He pointed out the ongoing debate around Tank's matchups and suggested that there were missed opportunities for big fights. Tim Bradley didn't hold back in his criticism of Gervonta Tank Davis, making a strong point about Davis's approach to his matchups. He further criticized, but it just always seems that Tank, and this isn't just me hating, this is factual. Tell me last true top A-Dog where he didn't suck him down in weight so he can have an advantage of saying, oh, he too big, this and that, like he did with Garcia. Look, they've built a hell of a product. Look, man, makeup covers a lot of imperfections. Matchmaking can do the same thing. What are you scared of? He knocks out a lion, that's what I'm talking about. So that's just me, that's what I think. However, despite Jake Paul's undeniable success, he remains one of the internet's most polarizing figures. So when the younger Paul brother tried to sidestep a potential fight with Gervonta Davis, his response didn't go unnoticed, and fans didn't hold back, unleashing a wave of criticism. One user expressed his desire to watch this fight between Jake Paul, who last fought as a heavyweight, and Davis, who is far more skilled but fights in the lightweight division. That would be a fun match to watch. Big and powerful against speed. Would be a fun and entertaining one, IMHO, the user wrote. However, if both parties agree to face off, one major hurdle looms, deciding the weight class for the fight. Meanwhile, this user criticized Paul for trying to avoid the fight. Jake, when would you just accept a challenge? Or are you scared to face your own match? The user asked. Notably, besides Tommy Fury, the problem child has fought no one that would legitimize him as a boxer, but he continues to brag about his dream to become a world champion. Another user called out Paul for fighting out of prime fighters for money. You're terrified of anyone that's not geriatric, the user commented. In his last 4 fights, Paul faced a lineup that raised eyebrows. 58-year-old Tyson, 33-year-old Mike Perry, 35-year-old Ryan Borland, and 36-year-old Andre August. The pattern is hard to ignore. Paul seems to avoid opponents near his own age, and when he does step into the ring with someone closer to his demographic, like Tommy Fury, he comes up short. Someone else brought up Paul's fight against Tommy Fury, holding up a mirror to El Gallo. You got rocked by Tommy Fury, lil bro. Just stop. The user wrote, while Fury won that fight, it's worth mentioning that Paul dropped Fury in the last round. Also, Paul has alleged that he offered Fury a fight for $8 million, but Fury refused the bout. That being said, it appears Jake Paul has a real opportunity to fight the biggest name in the sport. However, it seems like he won't be accepting the challenge from Gervonta Davis for fear of losing the fight, which is a big possibility. What do you think? Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach have a bit of history as they faced each other twice in the amateurs. Both bouts were competitive, but in the end, Davis was victorious on both occasions. The Davis versus Roach rivalry will continue at the pro level, but the matchup isn't being well received by all boxing fans. On one end of the spectrum, you have the casuals who are completely sold on this matchup. The 29-year-old Roach took to X to tell Davis that he's not like the usual fighters Davis is accustomed to facing. Lamont Roach expressed, "You must think I'm one of them regular you fought or some, lol, cut it out, measy." Gervonta Davis wasted no time and replied, "I advise you not to talk so much. It can be bad for you. You know that already though, yo." While Roach has shown noticeable improvement, it's hard to envision him posing a serious threat to Davis. In his last fight, Davis dominated Frank Martin in June, using his speed and power to overwhelm him in the middle rounds before delivering a devastating knockout. As the anticipation builds for this December showdown, the pressure is on for both fighters. Gervonta Davis, known for his explosive power and undefeated record, aims to extend his dominance in the lightweight division. Meanwhile, Lamont Roach is determined to prove himself and will look to capitalize on this career-defining opportunity.
Why you retiring, Tank? Why you retiring?
Trash.
What changed? What made you?
Trash, garbage. I don't care about belts and I don't care about that stuff. I don't care about none of that.
That's why I don't want to box no more.
When you start losing your love for boxing, what happened?
I want to do therapy, right? It will lose the fire that I have inside me. I want everything out of me, Wes, so I don't never think about fighting again. I don't think about even getting angry. But I have 2 girls, 2 daughters. I want to be living without being seen.
With a celebrity of your status, right? How do you just disappear and vanish?
Gervonta Tank Davis, one of the biggest names in global boxing, has confirmed that his career is coming to an end. With an impeccable record of 30 fights undefeated and 28 knockouts, the 30-year-old fighter has announced that he plans to retire in 2025, leaving behind a legacy that has amazed fans and experts alike. However, this could be Davis's last big opportunity to fight with Jake Paul if it happened to confirm his dominance in the lightweight division before retiring. He added in frustration, "After next year, I'm out of the sport," the champion said, visibly upset by the aspects surrounding his profession. "It's trash. This stuff is trash. Trash. Tired of all this crap." Gervonta Davis's hints at retirement and growing frustrations with the sport add a sense of urgency and drama to his remaining bouts. These looming questions about his future make a potential crossover fight all the more thrilling.
And just go undisputed in the lightweight division. So obviously, he'd have to go up to 140 because there's no way he's making 130. And then he'd have to beat a dude like Tiafimo, and he'd probably have to beat Devin Haney as well. And I think that could probably get him the #1 spot. But yeah, we can sit here and say Tank is one of the best pound-for-pound fighters right now, which I think he's one of the most talented, and I think he could do most of what I said. However, hypotheticals aren't going to work with pound-for-pound listing.
Although many have speculated whether his retirement could tarnish his undefeated legacy, Davis appeared indifferent to such comments. In an interview, the boxer made it clear that for him, his status as the best will always be secured. Tank stated, "I don't even care about that, bro. I don't even care about that. And where I come from, bro, I'll always be the greatest. I'll always be a G for myself." Davis's retirement, which comes at the peak of his career, has had a significant impact on the boxing world. His decision to step away from the sport at the height of his success has not been universally well received. In an interview, Bill Haney, father and trainer of Devin Haney, questioned Davis's choices regarding his opponents. According to Haney, Gervonta Tank Davis has avoided the most dangerous boxers and downplayed the challenge presented by Lamont Roach Jr. Haney said, criticizing how Davis has managed his career, "I don't think Lamont has the quality to beat Davis, and if he fights Shakur Stevenson, it will be a good fight. I give it 50-50, but I think Tank is avoiding real boxers." Despite the criticism, Gervonta Davis remains one of the most charismatic and controversial figures in modern boxing. His aggressive style and impressive knockout ability have solidified him as one of the best in the sport today.
25 is at the next year, I'm out of it.
With his retirement looming, the question of what kind of legacy he will leave in the sport will be one of the most debated topics in the coming months. For now, Davis seems determined to end his career in the ring in 2025, before his name fades from boxing history as one of the greatest of his era. However, many hope that at least in his final year, Tank will give fans some of the most exciting battles of his already brilliant career.
Sight, you really thought I was partying? We out here, high altitude, Colorado Springs, with the Olympians Team USA Boxing. Let's get it. Let's go.
Gervonta Tank Davis calling out Jake Paul has set the boxing world buzzing with excitement and speculation. A potential showdown between these two would not only ignite the ring, but also captivate fans globally. Will Jake rise to the challenge, or will Tank prove his dominance once again? The ball is in Jake's court now, and fans are eagerly waiting to see if this war of words turns into a battle under the bright lights of the ring.